Did you ever wonder how laws from centuries ago can still impact society today? Let's take a trip back in time to pre-colonial India, a land of diverse legal systems heavily influenced by indigenous customs and religious traditions. Interestingly, there were no explicit laws targeting non-heteronormative behavior. This was an era where diverse gender identities and sexual orientations were recognized within cultural and religious frameworks. Fast forward to the British colonial rule, a period that saw the imposition of Western legal systems on India. This era brought about a significant change, the introduction of laws that criminalized same-sex relationships. A prominent example is Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, introduced in 1861. This law, criminalizing carnal intercourse against the order of nature, effectively outlawed consensual same-sex relationships. The colonial era, particularly the introduction of Section 377, marked a turning point in the legal recognition of LGBT rights in India. This was a shift that would echo through the centuries, shaping societal attitudes and perceptions for generations to come. How did a law from 1861 shape the fight for LGBT rights in India? Picture this: a law enacted over a century and a half ago, known as Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, criminalizing carnal intercourse against the order of nature. This archaic law, a remnant of British colonial rule, effectively outlawed consensual same-sex relationships, deeply entrenching stigma, discrimination and violence against LGBT individuals in India's societal fabric. This law didn't just affect individuals, it shaped the trajectory of contemporary LGBT rights movements in the country. Activists and organizations rallied against its discriminatory provisions, igniting a struggle for change that spanned decades. One case that stands out in this fight is the Naz Foundation versus the government of NCT of Delhi in 2009. The Naz Foundation, a non-governmental organization championing HIV/AIDS prevention, challenged the constitutionality of Section 377 in the Delhi High Court. Their victory marked a pivotal moment, inspiring further activism and legal efforts towards decriminalizing same-sex relationships. The struggle against Section 377 ignited a spark for change that continues to fuel the fight for equality. Can the law change society, or does society change the law? This question is particularly pertinent when we consider recent legal reforms and decriminalization efforts in India. The last decade has seen remarkable strides towards legal reform, most notably with the case of Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India. In 2018, this case challenged the constitutionality of the infamous Section 377, which had criminalized consensual same-sex relationships for over a century. The argument was simple but powerful. This law violated the fundamental rights to equality, privacy, and dignity. The Supreme Court of India, in a landmark decision, agreed. Section 377 was struck down, and with it, the legal criminalization of same-sex relationships. This victory, though long overdue, affirmed the rights and dignity of LGBT individuals. The landmark decision in Navtej Singh Johar versus Union of India marked a significant victory for LGBT rights, but the fight is far from over. What happens when law and society clash? As we journey through the landscape of LGBT rights in India, it's clear that legal reforms, though monumental, are not the be-all and end-all of this struggle. The fight for equality and protection is ongoing, with resistance often rooted in deeply ingrained societal norms and attitudes. Take, for example, certain regions in North India known for their conservative outlook. Here, despite the law's stance, acceptance of LGBT rights is met with resistance, and discrimination and violence persist. It's a sobering reminder that the law is just one piece of the puzzle. Grassroots movements in these regions face an uphill battle, advocating for equality and recognition amidst a society resistant to change. These warriors are the unsung heroes, persisting in the face of adversity, pushing the boundaries of societal acceptance. Despite legal victories, societal acceptance and protection of LGBT rights remain ongoing challenges. The fight isn't over, but every step forward is a victory worth celebrating. How can the international community influence national laws, one might wonder? Well, in the case of LGBT rights in India, international human rights frameworks and advocacy have been pivotal. The United Nations Human Rights Council, for instance, has repeatedly urged the Indian government to repeal discriminatory laws and safeguard the rights of LGBT individuals. This influential body, along with other human rights organizations and diplomatic missions, has applied consistent pressure on India to uphold human rights principles and tackle systemic discrimination. These efforts have not just been about exerting pressure, though. They've also offered much-needed support, providing momentum for local activists and contributing to the broader movement for change. This international solidarity has been instrumental in advancing the rights and recognition of LGBT individuals in India. So, in conclusion, international solidarity and pressure have played a crucial role in advancing LGBT rights in India, showcasing the power of collective action in the fight for equality.